I'll admit it, life's been better since I started working on this deck. Of course, we're talking about Rin and Seri Inseparable. This deck gets very cutesy very quick and then lays down a mean bite at the end. So let's see what we can do with the legendary dog cat. Now you're definitely going to want to prioritize cuteness over budget. This version of Regal Caracal, infinitely better than the original Amonkhet version. A great way to pump up your cats, give them lifelink, and make a couple more kitties along the way. Obviously, you're going to want to protect your deck a little bit, so Marisi, Breaker of the Coil, is an absolute include. Keep people from doing stuff during your turns. Seems like a good idea. I know this is a little bit cheating, but card draw is always important. So Realm Walker becomes an honorary cat dog. When you cast it, you get a trigger for both. Back to Amonkhet for Prowling Serpapard. It can't be countered. Creature spells you control can't be countered. That's always nice. We have Cat, Graveyard Hate, which is cool. Lion Sash fits in nicely. We do want cheap ways to make a bunch of tokens, so Universal Automaton's a good thing to add. It triggers both dog and cat to make a cat and a dog. We can pump our team up a bit with Zaro Janin, Scion of Efarva. You get to play my favorite dog in the game, Comet Stellar Pup. You don't really know what he's going to do, but it's going to be a great time. 1 or 2, he chases squirrels. 3 or 4, he digs up a bone. 4 or 5, he bites onto an opponent. Super flavorful. And if you roll a 6, you add some loyalty and you roll again. Why not jam in a Cabaretti charm to create some tokens or do whatever else you need it to do? This is the perfect kind of deck to play charms in. I got a finisher for you, Triumph of the Hordes. How about you kill everybody in the game with rabies? Huh? As an important note, Hound has been eroded to dog, so all the hounds count as dogs. Encampment Keeper, nice little 1 mana 1/1 to make a cat. Goldhound is treasure, but treasure him. You get to play the legendary dogs as well, so you get Isamaru, Hound of Konda. How about a pack leader just to give all your dogs a big buff? Now, Paco without Arcane Retriever maybe isn't a great idea, but the idea that this thing's going to run around and dig up bones, if you will, for you seems great. You don't get access to the cards, but that's the perfect kind of annoying for a new pupper in the family. How about a Selfless Savior? Here is a sketch version from the Secret Lair. Adorable. A little bit more card draw with your dog. You get Spirited Companion, which is from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty and apparently was reprinted in Commander Masters. We get a spooky dog with Watchdog. I'm sure he's just a cute little guy though. We've got a classic here with Zodiac Dog. It's got Mountain Walk, a 3 mana 2/2 with Mountain Walk. Definitely what you want to be playing. And finally, get that Orphan Guard in here. Kahira is a great complement to the deck. You can't play it in this version as the companion because you're going to have dogs in your deck. But you could play a deck where all you do is cast cats and then this could be your companion. So there you go. Cute puppers, some kitty cats, and a good time had by all. Hope this helps. Listen, it's not about getting some of the value. It's about getting all of the value. And what's a better way to do that than Elish Norn, Mother of Machines? We casually have a 5 mana 4/7 with Vigilance. If a permanent entering the battlefield under your control causes an ability to trigger, double that ability. Permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities of permanents your opponents control to trigger. All right, so we're taking all the fun here, and we're just going to lean into that. Why not? So we're definitely going to play what's becoming quickly my new favorite card to add to monocolor decks, Throne of Eldraine. 5 mana, taps for 3 mana, and later on you get to draw cards with it. We have a couple of enablers to go along with Elish Norn. We've got Ephemerate, it has Rebound, beautiful thing. We also have Teleportation Circle. You get to blink things at your end step. That seems good. And of course we've got the Blinky Cat itself, Felidar Guardian. When it enters the battlefield, exile a thing, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. You're going to get to blink 2 things, so that's even better. So what are we blinking? Well, the ultimate value piece is probably Charming Prince. You get your choice of 3 things. It also has a blink on its end step. I don't often get to recommend Solemn Simulacrum anymore, so here I am recommending it. Enter the battlefield, get 2 lands. Blink it, get 2 more lands. And we're going to have lots of planes in this deck, so no problem here. We're going to need to control the board a little bit, so we get to play Lauren of the Third Path. We need to control the board a little bit more, so we're going to play Skyclave Apparition to get rid of 2 things at once. I don't know if you've ever played with Preston the Vanisher, but this thing turns Elish Norn up to 11, and I love to do that. We got Loyal Warhound to get us some more lands. because we're just going to need more mana to cast more spells. How about Recruiter or the Guard? A little bit expensive, but it goes and gets 2 things from your library. That's always a good deal, in my opinion. We've got another deck where the Defiler cycle is a huge boon. This time we get Defiler of Faith, along with the bit of ramp you get. Whenever you cast a permanent spell, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. So that's some good value there too. Archaeomancer's Map is going to go draw you 4 cards, and then you get to play lands on your opponent's turn. You're going to catch way up if, in fact, you didn't already get way ahead with Elesh Norn. And the best equipment for the deck by far, Sword of Hearth and Home. You get to blink things and get basic lands. That sounds amazing. So, powerful ETBs is where you want to be. We got some enablers here, and a 4/7 that you get to tuck in with every turn, pretty much taking out whatever it hits in its way. You're going to have a great time. Hope this helps. This one goes out to all the Commander players who refuse to give up on Voltron. We're of course talking Halvar, God of Battle. Halvar's given your creatures double strike, and he's given you a free equip every turn. That's great value out of the command zone. You can literally play him as Sword of the Realms as well, and suit up another creature if you like. So real quick, what's Voltron? Well, Voltron is the building up of one creature to be really big and powerful, and then swinging to take out your opponents. The strengths of this, it's really easy to make a creature that's pretty much unstoppable. It's really fun to do that. And you can build up a commander, so you don't have to hit everyone for 40, you just got to get 21 in on each player. What are the downsides? Well, an edict is usually going to take care of you. Making you sacrifice a creature and only having one giant creature is going to be a huge setback. The other thing is equipments have equip costs, and that's sunk mana that you're not getting back unless you actually get into combat and swing with your big creature. So we got to figure out ways to get around that. Halvar helps, and we got to figure out ways to get in for damage fairly quickly. So let's look into it. Right away, we've got an absolute staple of equipment decks, Pure Steel Paladin. With Metalcraft, you have equip 0 on all your equipment. That's kind of nice. A new boon for equipment decks this year, we've got Forge Anew. This is going to give you 1 free equip on something really ridiculous every single turn. And of course, we've got Sigarda's Aid, because we want to flash in equipment at our own leisure. Now, when you play Green-White Nazan, Hammer of Nazan is secretly the commander of the deck, because you get to go tutor it out. But you're playing Hammer of Nazan in this deck too. Absolutely powerful. We also get a brand new card in Unfinished Business. You get to return a creature card from your graveyard and 2 equipments and attach them to the creature for 5 mana. That's super powerful, especially if you get blown out in combat somehow. Now, we're going to play Skull Clamp, and you might be thinking like, well, I don't have a ton of tokens that I need to clamp onto to draw cards. Well, we've got an answer to that. We're also playing Arden, Intrepid Archaeologist. Arden lets you equip any number of auras or equipments to a creature, so you can equip your Skull Clamp to your opponent's mana dorks every turn. This is such a underrated play and should see way more play, really. The other equipment that you get to play for sure is Umezawa's Jite. This is so bonkers with Double Strike. Whenever your equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you get 2 charge counters. Well, with Halvar, you've got Double Strike. That means you're getting 4 counters per attack. And the charge counters sit on the Jite, so even if you equip something else, those charge counters can be used. Even when it's not equipped, you can remove charge counters to use the abilities. This is just such a beastly equipment. 1/1 creatures never stood a chance. Some of the equipment we're going to play is legendary, but most of it isn't. So I think Masterwork of Ingenuity is a great way to do this. It's 1 mana, make any equipment on the battlefield. Awesome. You can't go into battle with your Voltron deck without SRAM, Senior Edificer. You need to draw cards, and this allows you to do it. We're also playing Kemba, Enduring. When he enters the battlefield, you just get to attach equipment to him. You also get to create white cat tokens at instant speed, and that will allow you to attach equipment to them as well. You can play Cloudsteel Kieran as well. It equips and says, when this is equipped, you can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game. That's super funny. You also get to play Balan, Wandering Knight. This Cat Knight gets big real quick and goes after everybody. And finally, if things go really, really sideways, you have the get back into it button with Brilliant Restoration. This is a one-sided return everything to your battlefield, and that's amazing. I can assure you, as someone who played 2 or 3 of these in my sealed pools in Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, this card is an absolute house. To the point where you don't even care really if you lose stuff because you're getting it all back. So, we're suiting up Halvar, we're suiting up Balan, we're putting things on SRAM, and really any other creatures you want to add. Don't forget your Arden. Now get to beating down. Hope this helps. As someone who's lost to this deck out in the wild, I can assure you this is a dope Phyrexian deck. We're talking Ixel, Scion of Atraxa. First of all, I think this is the best pre-con of the year. I know we got the Lord of the Rings pre-cons, I know we got the cool Commander Masters pre-cons, and people are gonna love the dinosaur pre-con. It's called Velociraptor. Come on. But this deck is powerful out of the box, it plays well, Corrupted is such a cool mechanic. It doesn't force people to get taken out by Infect if you don't want it to. Everything's there right out of the box, but we are going to talk about some upgrades, as well as a few cards that definitely go in the deck. All right, Ixel Scion of Atraxa, here we go. Couple of new cards for you right off the bat. Court of Locthwain, become the Monarch. Great mechanic in Commander. Add this to your deck. You get to cast spells from exile, which your deck is already trying to do. Virtue of Loyalty, untap your creatures on your end step, give some counters out, protect yourself. People are going to want to attack you once they have some Infect counters. But that's a big too sad, so sad. All right, an absolute banger from the precon itself, Contaminant Grafter. The Corrupted mechanic here is just nutty. At the beginning of your end step, if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, draw a card, and then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. That's awesome. Also in the precon is Norn's Decree. Attacking you causes proliferation. That is so bonkers. You're going to get them with a counter or 2 on it right away. It's going to turn on Corrupted, and you're going to be able to benefit. And then they're going to have to start making choices about whether it's right to attack you or not. I really don't like recommending 3-mana mana rocks, but Glistening Sphere, I can recommend this one. When it enters the battlefield, proliferate. Okay, great, right off the bat. And then Corrupted, it taps for 3 mana. All right, let's do it. Your deck's going to need Recursion as well, so you can go right to Unnatural Restoration from Phyrexial will be 1. Return a card from your graveyard to your hand. Proliferate, that's awesome. We're definitely keeping Norn's Choirmaster from the precon. You're getting probably 2 proliferates off of this, which is really nice. We're definitely adding Magic's new mascot to the game. We're playing Skrell Defector Might. Toxic 1, give protection, right on theme. Your deck gets to play Phyrexian Censor. Each player can't cast more than 1 non-Phyrexian spell each turn. You're going to be playing a bunch of Phyrexians. Most of the old creatures that you would think were Phyrexian have been errated to be Phyrexian, so this is just fine. Also, non-Phyrexian creatures enter the battlefield tapped. That's great. You're going to shut off some combos. Let's put 1 Infect kill in there. Let's give yourself a Skithrix, the Blight Dragon, Flying Infect. Keep it around with Regenerate. Awesome stuff here. We do have a non-Phyrexian, but, I mean, he's the father of Phyrexia. So, you know, Yawgmoth Thran Physician definitely believes he should be in the deck. We're also going to play Finn the Fangbearer. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. All right. And I've got a utility card for you like no other. Glissa Sunslayer. When it deals combat damage to a player, choose 1. Lots of great choices up there. So there you go. Ixel, the dope Phyrexian deck you've been looking for. I would start with the precon and build from there. But the cards I've got here that aren't from the precon definitely fit in and are definitely bangers. When you're playing the deck, you don't really want to focus someone down like when you normally would play an Infect deck. You just want 3 counters on everybody so you can use the Corrupted mechanic as much as possible. It turns some cards into absolutely insano bonkers versions of the cards. Hope that helps.